I have to say many communities in Nova Scotia have been calling out for action on discrimination and racism. We have consulted large groups on this issue to come up with many solutions, and I would like to say steps, to racism and hate. We spoke to communities that were the most affected and asked them all to be vulnerable and share stories, some extremely hard and traumatizing, yet we promised them all that we would listen to their words and act upon it in this piece of legislature. I want to speak to all of those who shared and expressed your thoughts and your experiences, took the time for these consultations, exhausted your energies to express your experiences with us. I want you to know that I am listening. Our caucus is listening. I will continue to speak your truths here in this House, the People's House. And I don't know if anyone is aware of this, but I wear a different color skin than everyone else in this space here. I mean, there's a few of us here that have similar, but I need everyone to understand that when people look at me, they don't necessarily see the bubbly character, the lovely, the smart, the vibrant. And I mean, I'm only patting myself on the back because I'm saying these things to build myself up, to let everyone know that before you see anything and before I say anything out of my mouth, you see the color of my skin. And I'm based and judged upon that every single day of my life. So I need everyone else, for all of my colleagues or people who are MLAs like myself, last evening was truly an eye-opening experience. And I thank you all for showing me your true colors. I see them shining through, and I really feel like I said yesterday, that y'all need to sit into this and kind of press into the feeling of uncomfortability, because it's going to happen a lot here in this House. And I will continue to press that for all of my constituencies and my communities that I serve, because not only do I serve my own constituency, many of your own constituents message me regularly to let me know how they feel in their own communities, because they can't express themselves to their own MLAs or their people that they trust, because there's no lived experience or understanding of who they are and how they feel. So I want everyone to know that my fight for social justice and equality in this House will be one fought with a small team. But if you don't already know, I'm small and mighty. And many Nova Scotians will feel this throughout my term. Unlike most of my other MLAs, when you see me, like I said, you see color first. And that's not my status. You know, it's more than just the color of my skin. I will continue to strive for equality and equity and justice for all here in this House. Last evening, I brought forward amendments to this bill to help strengthen the bill. Amendments that were derived from the input, from consultations, community input, law amendments. And I've heard all week from this government that we're listening to Nova Scotians, we're paying attention, we're listening, we hear you. That's what I'm listening to. And I heard that over and over and over again. Yet, specifically, Nova Scotians spoke clearly about how they don't want their voices and input hidden in strategy. Because that word keeps to be floating around. Talking about strategy, we need strategy. Well, we do have some smart people out there in this world that know what legislation means, and they don't want it in strategy. They said it. So they wanted it to be legislated. Yet this government will do just that and create a wonderful strategy with no funding to do this work, which should already be done. They should already be working on that. Like, the departments that we have should already be looking at things through a diverse and equitable lens. And so the work should be ongoing. But what I'm hearing from community members is they're saying, you know, why should we give our input if you don't want it, if you don't want to hear it or put it into anything that's going to be substantial? So I'm just going to say what was written today to me. Don't ask for our input if you're not going to use it. So I know that dismantling hate and racism, or racism and hate, will always be an uphill battle. But y'all need to know, excuse me, Mr. Speaker, everyone in this House needs to know that I got my hiking boots on and my team with me, and we will take this journey for all Nova Scotians that experience racism and hate until our government does the right thing. working towards dismantling this system that was never designed for us or even by us. Here was an opportunity to listen and act and use our ears. And the vote last evening spoke volumes on how some of us truly feel. So in closing, Mr. Speaker, and I don't think this is in closing, but last evening, this government and my colleagues opposite dismissed my community input, our Nova Scotian input. Nova Scotians who spoke loud and clear about what they wanted. When I hear, I'm committed to Nova Scotians, and I hear this every single time we sit in here, when I hear listening, and we're listening to Nova Scotians, when I hear Nova Scotians have spoken and we listen, some of us in here need to get our hearing checked, possibly clean out the wax. But I take from all of that, from last evening's discussion, that this doesn't include me, which means not all Nova Scotians are included. So work will continue on my end for as long as I sit in this seat and represent my riding and my community, and I speak for those that experience racism and hate. I will continue to fight for social justice, equality for all Nova Scotians, and I will not be silent, not ever. And I appreciate my colleague beside me that said the same. And I need everyone to know that, Mr. Speaker, I will be supporting this bill, as I know something is better than nothing. And we will recognize this worthiness. And I supply my vote on the premise that the title of the bill will be just that: First Steps to Dismantling Hate and Racism. I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors who have been here for over 400 years. My Indigenous brothers and sisters, my 2S LGBTQ plus folks, my disabled and superpowered folks, my community and my constituents and all Nova Scotians. And I thank them all for being my driving force for justice and equality in this House. So I need us to remember, because I wanted to kind of comment on this at the end, but I need us all to remember what sparked this particular bill. So we can't forget why this bill work came into fruition. An action created a knee-jerk reaction. So let us not be a province that continues to react because something has happened and we need to kind of quickly fix it with a Band-Aid. Let us be a province that does the work, digs our feet in deep, and makes sure that we are recognizing all Nova Scotians for the good work, the worthiness that they have here in this province, and we do the work for them, with them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.